No.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining our Copilot Agents in Three Steps session. So here I am with Frank Falvey and Gabriel Naranjo, who is trying to set up his camera. And today we'd like to answer the most frequently asked questions about Copilot agents. So, how to build them, how to deploy, or what are the different channels that you have available to publish Copilot agents, and how to manage them. So let's get started. I have just a couple of slides, and most of the time we'll be going through documentation that we have available, and we'll try also to interact with conversations with Frank and Gabriel, and also with some demos. So let's get started. Oh, first of all, I have one slide to introduce me because you never know. Maybe you don't know me yet, but yes, I'm Amelia Hernandez. I'm Microsoft Certified Trainer, Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Consultant, Microsoft 365 Copilot Adoption and Change Specialist, and I'm also working with the Austrian Power Platform enthusiasts. So in case you're in Austria, take a look to this community because we are meeting once a month and bringing very interesting speakers and very interesting sessions. So who else? Frank, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
How you doing, Frank Falvey here in Cork, in Ireland, and I'm at Microsoft MVP in the M365 Copilot category, and I run the Azure and AI show there every Saturday as well, and we also have a monthly show called Journey to the Cloud, which to be live every first Thursday of the month. So there we go.
Very cool.
Gabrielle, over to you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabriel. Also, like Frank and Amelia, I am MCT, so Microsoft Certified Trainer. Today, working to talking about to the agent. It's the with Amelia by Amelia.
Very cool. Thank you very much for joining today, Gabriel Frank. So let's get started with the build, deploy, and manage. And the very first question is how to build Copilot agents. And there are several ways to build Copilot agents. And there are a couple of things that you have to take into account when you are about to decide, okay, which is the correct path for me to build Copilot agents. First of all, your skill set. Are you a maker? So are you someone working with low code tools, or are you maybe a professional developer working maybe with Visual Studio, Teams toolkits, and so on? Um, so this is like the very first question that you have to make yourself in terms of your skill set and your tool set, and then of course in terms of the requirements. What are the requirements that you have for your Copilot agents? Should your Copilot agent, for example, be grounded on Microsoft 365 Copilot, or should be grounded maybe on a small language model, or should be grounded maybe on any other large language model available. So those are the very first questions, and there is an awesome resource called the Copilot Agent Camp, Developer Camp. And don't be worried because of the word developer, even if you are not a developer, the tools are for makers. So no code, low code, pro code. So let me show you because it's an amazing resource um, that you should know about it. So this is the link. I'll put it in the chat so my colleagues can share it with you. And And here on the Copilot Developer Camp, you can find really all the resources to build Copilot agents using any of the different paths available. And if you scroll down, of course, apart from amazingly great and useful videos, you have as well this very cool image, which I will magnify so we can um, see it better. Hmm, It's taking really long, but see. Okay. Well, anyhow, it's big enough, but the point here basically is, so here is actually the decision about your skill set, tool set. Am I a maker? Am I a professional coder or professional developer? Okay, if I'm a maker, what are you trying to make? Okay, I'm trying to make maybe an agent to extend Microsoft 365 Copilot chat, acting as an end user. Then you go for the Copilot Studio Agent Builder. If you want to, create an agent for SharePoint content only, then you'd go the SharePoint agent path. Then, if you want to create an agent for Microsoft 365 Copilot, it's also available in Teams and more using Microsoft Copilot Studio, then you'd go for this Copilot Studio path. And then, of course, if you want your Copilot agent to be grounded in different models than Microsoft 365 Copilot GPT 4.0, then you'd go for custom agents. And the declarative agents, they are just, made to be grounded with Microsoft 365 Copilot itself. So it provides Microsoft 365 Copilot. Okay, so we could actually go for a demo, but before I go for a demo, I like to inspire to conversation. Let's see, Gabriel, Frank, what is your status quo about a building Copilot agents? What or which path has you tried out at the moment or until now? Hey, hello, Dan, you are here too. Nice to see you.
Okay. Yeah, we've got Lorraine Lawrence as well in the
Oh
audience.
my God, yes. Oh, that's great.
And
Haven't seen.
Lorraine,
Welcome, everyone. That's awesome.
yes. So Lorraine was saying the video was frozen, but everything is okay for us, Lorraine. So maybe reboot your machine and come back to us again. But yes, Amelia, this is a very good flow chart kind of to get people started. I like using Copilot Studio to build my agents. So I was
Okay,
at that at the weekend. So very nice. I
very
think
good.
Gabrielle, you used it.
He used the both really. So I used the Copilot Studio, also Copilot for 365, and then the last Saturday night, you remember I using the custom engine agents.
Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly.
exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. So it
Okay,
depends on whether you want to achieve your goals in your organizations. This is the very important things.
Yeah.
exactly. And there was something very important you mentioned last time. It was about these automatic actions. Maybe
Correct.
you'd like to show something about it, Gabriel. Do
So
you want to show something about it?
today not because it's they're testing a new project. So maybe if I
Maybe
am
next
fixing a
time.
couple of rare, yeah, maybe next time. Today
Okay,
is for
very
you,
cool.
only for you.
Oh, that's great.
That's right.
Okay, awesome. Well, that then I will go ahead. Hey, Dan, do you want to say something? Do you want to share something about your favorite tools so far to create or to build Copilot agents?
It's mute.
I know I've used Copilot Studio, but a
Mm-hmm,
lot of times I'm just using Copilot for Microsoft 365 on a regular basis.
mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe using the builder. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you well the maker path of creating creating Copilot agents. And basically, the path for the Copilot Studio agent is available through Microsoft 365 Copilot. So you have to go ahead and go to your Microsoft 365 uh, com, and then you click on Copilot. If you are already licensed with Microsoft 365 Copilot, you should be able uh, to access the very beautiful Create an Agent link. So this Create an Agent link give you the access to the Copilot builder within Microsoft 365 Copilot. And so here we are, and it's actually very, very, very easy to create an agent. You can either describe it, so in a conversational way, or you can just go ahead and go to the configure tab if you prefer to work more with a formula, like yeah, more or less like a wizard art. So depending on what you'd like to do. And I like to, well, would like actually to use the description part. So basically I'm going to try to say Copilot, what is it, what it's all about it, my agent. And today we are, because I love gardening, in case you didn't know, I love gardening. So today we are going to create a garden expert. And the prompt, the description, nothing is anything that I've invented myself. This is everything that you can have yourself also available within this incredible Copilot developer camp. So if you scroll down, you will find here the build your first agent, and here you will find step by step basically what I'm going to do today. So just in case you want to do it at home at any time, you will know where to find it. So here we can type a message and say, okay, we would like actually to create an agent, and this agent should be an gardener expert. And of course, the great thing about it is, uh, in case you hesitate about how to do it because it may be the first time for you, you can of course use the lab guide within the Copilot developer can, but you can also use one of the templates available. So you see Microsoft have created out of the box some templates, so you can go ahead and create and use those templates or reuse them in order to create your first Copilot agent. So here is what we would like to do. I'd like to create an agent, and as an agent, you are, and I'm going to copy paste this description here because it would be just too long to write it. So in as an agent, you are an expert gardener and you help users to maintain and improve their home garden, providing detailed instructions and advice about the best practices for home gardening. So I will then click on intro. And then the Copilot Agent Builder will start kind of conversation with me. Okay, letting me know. Okay, great. Pues now please confirm and suggest a name, of course, for your Copilot agent. And we want to call it the garden expert, of course, and then we can move on. Now it maybe needs more information or not. Let's see. It's you see on the other side of the screen, you have already some ideas actually, for example, for prompts. Those are actually something that you can adjust yourself and are called starter prompts. And for now on, it's already actually giving me some ways actually to start to talk to this garden expert. Yes, so can you provide more details? Sure, I can provide more details. I have even a longer text, which is again available in the Copilot Developer Camp, and I can provide more instructions. So you are an expert gardener, and well, the same instructions, but here I'm providing as well some working rules. For example, provide detailed instructions and advice about the best practices for home gardening. And if you go more in detail, you see, be friendly, be knowledgeable and supportive in all interactions. So here you can also say the tone, and you can also, for example, say specific or use specific words that you are using within your own, I don't know, within your own department, team, organization. So that's actually something very important, because in this way the Copilot agents is totally yours.
And
So
so, Emilia, just
yes, go
we have a
ahead.
question from a LinkedIn user,
Oh, that's cool. Uh-huh. Go
right?
ahead.
So I'll just put it on the screen.
Okay.
So it says, why does Microsoft in the builder in Teams Copilot chat not allow upload files for knowledge? That would be one of the core features, just using
Yes,
here for
that's a very
Studio.
interesting
Yeah.
question. Yes, that's a very interesting question. But you have to about actually how Microsoft 365 is solved in behind the scenes. And for documents, you have actually one very important place where you are storing documents, and is SharePoint. And therefore, SharePoint is actually powering everything that has to be with document management in Microsoft 365. That's the reason why I believe it's more it's I mean, it has more priority to use SharePoint, because there is where you can have content consistency. There is where your administrators can as well handle as well governance and so on. So it's I'd say that would be like my answer, because in this way you can ensure that your files, those that Copilot agents are using, are grounded, are in, for example, in SharePoint, which is powering document management in Microsoft 365. What would be your answer? Is there any ideas about it? Any other ideas about this question?
No, that's it. Andreas, he says, unfortunately, I'm still missing the template.
Oh, you're missing the templates. Okay. Well, let's talk about it when we go through management. Maybe we find out as an answer for you, Andreas. But yes, it's it it's possible. Okay, I have here an error saving the garden expert. Interesting. Let me go to configure maybe and see. Okay, I'm not using any templates, so I'm using the garden expert. And you see here, I have actually a lot of possibilities. For example, I can change the icon. I can as well, here I have the description I put it, and here I have the instructions I provided afterwards. And if I go more in detail, you can see what the user on LinkedIn just answered, and is about knowledge. You can either within the builder, you can either provide a public website, or you can go for a SharePoint location. And here you can say, hey, I want this Copilot agent not only to use the knowledge I've provided in this SharePoint location, but I also would like this SharePoint agent to go ahead and do a web search. So this is something you can turn on and off depending on your and on your needs, or on the requirements of your Copilot agent. And exactly, in this case, I have here an enterprise website, which I've configured, and it's my Let's Go company site. And therefore, I can say, go ahead and search for information within my company site. But my company site has nothing to do with gardening, so I will not turn it on. But I think it would be very interesting to have it from web search. So therefore, I will be turning it on. And there is something very interesting. I have a SharePoint site, which is a SharePoint gardening website. It's a SharePoint gardening SharePoint site. It's called the Nonstop Gardener. And within the Nonstop Gardener, which is just a normal communication site in SharePoint, I have here some documents. By the way, you can find those documents as well in the Copilot Developer Camp. And here, well, here is actually a great knowledge base for this Copilot to answer my questions. And if we go ahead and check, those documents are things like this, for example. Okay, if it's down, if it's loading, let me see. That well, there are things like, okay, it's not. Give me one sec. It's not loading, doesn't matter. But the important thing is we have here within the documents, okay, basic aspects of gardening, the common plants list, we have healing plants, and the most common types of plants in a home garden. So you have really here within this SharePoint site, I've put a lot of knowledge, and this Copilot agent can expand its knowledge with the help of these documents. So I will just go ahead and go ahead and copy actually the location on SharePoint, and well, I will just copy and paste it here. And let's see if it's able to save it. Yes, it's able to save it. And I will just go ahead and click on create. So now this Copilot agent is being created, and will take, of course, a couple of minutes or seconds. In this time was very quick. And then we can be able to share it. So we could go ahead and share. I love the experience because it's just very, very similar to the sharing experience in, for example, Word documents and so on. You have actually a very similar one. You can go ahead and copy the link and share this link with other colleagues. But in this case, you can see it, this link at the moment work only works only for me. So here I have the sharing settings, and I'm able to say, hey, I want anyone in my organization, for example, to be able to have access to the gardener, the garden expert, or you can even specify specific colleagues, or you can say, no, this is only for me, this is my agents. So in this case, I like to just share it with anyone in the organization, and this is how I can share a Copilot agent. I could, of course, copy this link. This one is the one that you can share with your colleagues, because the other one that I copied at the very beginning is not going to work, because that one was only for me. So I'm going to go to the agent, and now I should be actually able to try the garden expert. So you see now I have here the garden expert, and that's how I can actually create a Copilot agent very, very easily with no code, using the Copilot agent builder, which is included in Microsoft 365 Copilot license. And there are several ways to access a Copilot agent. So first of all, this is like my I mean my favorite way to do it. And of course, you also have the possibility to access it using dimension. So here you could go ahead. Oh, well, I'm already in the Copilot experts in the Garden expert, so I cannot access it anymore. I can just test it. Like for example, I can use any of these startup prompts, like soil management. What is the best way to manage soil for my gardens, for example, and then I get some answers. There are more instructions actually for this garden expert. This garden expert is actually able to yes, exactly. Is actually able to start and to help. I mean, to play with me a game, so I can guess the name of a plant. But I'm very bad guessing names for plants. I will say yes. Let's play, and then I'm really let's test if I can answer. We have 4 clues in this time. Clue number 1, and a popular flowering plant known for my vibrant and colorful blooms. Okay, that's not that easy, because there are a lot of popular plants known for their vibrant and colorful blooms. I could I come in various shades, including red, pink, white, and yellow. Okay. Clue number 2, I'm often associated with love and romance. Okay. Oh, and my
I'd say
flowers are commonly used in bouquets. Oh, it's maybe rose. What do you
rose.
think,
Yeah,
guys? Okay. What do you think?
yeah, it's cool.
It's rose. Let's
Yeah,
see. Okay, very good. So
I think
let's
so.
try it.
That's
Correct.
Oh,
correct.
that's correct. You.
Yeah,
That's whoa.
Copilot is
That's
romantic, so a little bit.
that's very cool, because I mean, if you take a look to the lab, you'll see, for the sake of completeness, they have added a screenshot of it, and the person had really to guess a very difficult plan. With I thought, okay, if it's asking me during the demo this plan, I don't think I will get it. But a rose, okay, it's possible. That's very cool. So thank you very much. And now I'll go ahead to Copilot, and I will try to access this Copilot agent in another way. And is I can actually use the add mention feature, just like the same way you add mention maybe apps in Microsoft Teams chat, or maybe colleagues, or channels, or teams. uh, it's the same way you can also use it for accessing Copilot agents. So here I have, for example, the garden expert, and here I can ask anything. For example, how can I take care of a rose? And then just hit an intro, and hopefully I will get an answer that help me take care of my rose. Okay, so
I have a question, Emilia.
go
It's Ami
ahead, go
Diamond.
ahead. Ask
Hi.
me the question. Yes, please go ahead. Mhm.
Um, so it's two questions. One is once you share it with the whole organization, will everyone get it in the chat, or do you need to do some just like it appears for you? Would it appear for the whole organization by sharing, or maybe you need to set it by some admin side? Second question is when would you use a SharePoint agent compared to a Studio
Mhm,
one?
mhm. Yes, well, for the first question, it's like this. You do need to, of course, share it with anyone so others can add it. And if you share it with anyone, it doesn't mean it will appear for everyone within this bar. You the others will have to go to get agent and then really to add it to this
I see.
navigation, agent navigation. And for the second question, the SharePoint agents you mentioned, what was the
Yes.
question, Amy? What was the question? Can you
When
repeat
would
it?
you use a SharePoint agent compared to a Studio agent?
Yes, yes. Well, I would use the SharePoint. Yeah, that's actually a very good question. I think I would use the SharePoint agents specifically if I want my agents to be accessible via, for example, a SharePoint intranet. So that's the
Okay.
scenario where I would go ahead and use a SharePoint agent. Yes. Anybody else that would like to say something or complete what I just said?
I think the
Yeah,
SharePoint Studio would give a better result actually, because you can combine maybe code or other things. Is that true, or
well,
Yeah,
does the SharePoint
it
Studio
says,
have?
Amy, in the documentation for the Copilot agent, right? It's
Yes.
if you go to adoption.microsoft.com and you get the 365 Copilot, it will give you when to use, right? So when to use a SharePoint one, it tells simple option to query content from a specific SharePoint site, folders, or specific files within a SharePoint or Teams chat. So that's when you use a SharePoint one, when you're using all SharePoint files or Teams chats.
And by the way, the licensing is it different between when you need to for SharePoint Studio or for a SharePoint, yeah, Copilot Studio, or SharePoint Agent. A SharePoint Agent uses the standard one, but maybe you need for the agent something specific or
Yes. Well, if you are a Microsoft 365 Copilot license user, you have the option to create Copilot within using the Copilot Studio Builder, just like I did. You have as well the option using copilotstudio.microsoft.com. That's the Microsoft 365 Copilot, the Microsoft Copilot Studio, which is this one here, and then you also can use the SharePoint Copilot. As far as I know, you don't need any extra licensing. just your normal Microsoft 365 license plus your Microsoft 365 Copilot add-on allowed you already to use the Copilot Studio Builder and also the Microsoft Copilot Studio. But there are some limitations regarding automated
Yeah.
actions, and here is something that I myself still trying to find out. Uh, when is it like the, the license? When is it license
Yeah.
like
It's
over, and when you actually need a pay as you go subscription?
yeah. Okay.
It's
Thank you
basically,
very much.
I think Amy,
Welcome.
I think is the difference between when you need to use a agent based on SharePoint is most specific for organization. You have all information, category, inside information. Also, you need
Yeah.
to own your own Copilot for your own system, and then if you need to, the key point here, also Amelia mentioned it, that is you need to pay as you go, or one more license to build your custom agent and your Copilot Studio. Also, maybe with the different, when you are using Copilot Studio, you need, when you need to integrate or you need to extend this functionality to in your Copilot. It's for my side. I think is maybe
And
the difference.
it can work also in Teams, right, Emilia, the agent? In a
Sorry.
channel and in a chat?
Yeah,
In a channel and in a chat.
the SharePoint one
The
you can
agent.
use it in Teams. Yeah.
No,
Yes,
the
exactly.
agent. The studio. The studio can it be
If the studio
in a
is
chat, in
okay.
a channel, or as an app, a separate app
Well,
it
that's a
might be.
very good question.
Yeah. Um,
So far, I've discovered just two ways to access the Copilot Studio.
Mhm.
First, using the builder. There may be using the builder, accessing it via a create an agent. Uh, but it makes
Yeah,
sense, your question. Maybe there is as well a builder via Teams. That
yeah,
I don't know about it, but it
yeah,
would make sense. And then you have, of course, via this link, copilotstudio.microsoft.com.
yeah,
If you type in and you are licensed, you sign in with your work organization account, then you will land to this landing page of Copilot Studio. So those are the
perfect.
two ways I know so far. Any other ways you guys know about it?
No, I think so. No, really good question. I investigating.
We can publish Copilot Studio agents
Very
on
good. Very good.
M365
Yes, it's
applications as
actually
well.
very interesting question. Okay. And it's
She
also
says
very,
something.
sorry.
I don't know. Can you repeat?
Yeah, so we can publish Copilot Studio custom engine
I just said
agents.
it's very interesting, and I'm happy that you're going to research about it. Well, so we are right now in the Copilot Studio page, and that's actually very cool because it gives us the possibility actually to go to the next step, which would be actually creating a Copilot agent using the Copilot Studio. What is already very interesting in this user interface is that, first of all, you can actually, the same way as we did it in the Copilot Studio Builder, you can go ahead here and create actually in a very conversational way, create a Copilot agent. And what's also very interesting is that here you have the recent created or recent modified Copilot agents. And if we keep on exploring, we have here a lot of templates, much more than those available within the Copilot Copilot Studio Builder that we saw before. And if we keep on, there are a lot of learning resources. So very nice, everything in one single place. Exactly. Uh, I like to take a very interesting view of these copilots, because here, if you see the list, there is no garden expert at all. The garden experts are not listed here. They are actually not available in the Copilot Studio, and they were created with the builder. And if you want to modify it or to change anything or to update the knowledge base, for example, anything about the Copilot agent that you created within the Copilot Studio Builder, then you have to use the Copilot Studio Builder to access it and to yes to change it. So you have to go to create Copilot, and then here it is, uh, the option to go to My Agents. So you click on My Agents, and here they are, all the Copilot agents that I've created using so far using the Copilot Studio Builder. So yes, it's very interesting. Here you have the option to edit the Copilot again, in case you haven't shared the link, or you want to share the link again with somebody. Here you have also the share possibilities, and of course you have the possibility as well to delete your Copilot agent at any time. Okay, so that's a bit of a hidden link, I have to say, and therefore I thought it was important to mention. So here you have the copilots, the Copilot agents you've created with the Copilot Studio, and pretty much it. So pretty much it. And yes, so to create a Copilot Studio, there are of course many ways. You can go ahead and click on Create, or you can just go ahead and go to Home and start actually just with the wizard. So that's pretty much it. Do you want me to demo how to create the Copilot agent the same with the Copilot Studio?
Sure.
Okay, okay, very good. So let us create again the same, actually. It's going to be very fun. So let us create again just the same garden expert with the Copilot Studio. So I will go ahead here and add it, the description, okay, and then click on the link, the prompt. And then here we are. So we have here the form we have to fill in order to create our garden expert. And the very first decision we have to take is which language should our Copilot agent speak. And here you have the option. It's English by default because my tenant is in English. But anyhow, here you have much more options if you want your Copilot agent to speak any other language. But the life and the very international life we all live, it says we actually need more than one the one language most of the time. So um, I myself, I'm speaking a lot of English, and I'm also speaking a lot of German, and sometimes I'm also speaking a lot of Spanish as well. So therefore, in my case, I would need actually multi-language Copilot agent, and that's possible. So you can create multi-language Copilot agents. I may be able to show you afterwards. So here you can just write in the name. In this case, it's going to be the garden expert again. You can look for a very beautiful icon if you want to. For example, here you can even change the icon and search for an icon. But in this case, I don't have any specific that it's great for a garden expert. And here I will just go ahead and copy the description. And here I can just go ahead and copy the instructions. And then it's going to come something very interesting. Something actually we saw out of the box in the Copilot Builder. So if we go ahead to the Copilot Builder and go to the Garden Expert, you may be able to see these 6 prompts here. Those are the starter prompts. And in the Copilot Studio, you are able to decide what are those prompts going to be. So here you can actually go ahead and add some prompts. For example, the title of the prompt and the prompt itself. For example, Rose. I forget always how to take care of Rose. That could be, for example, one prompt, and I can go ahead and say save. So this is something that you can customize here using the Copilot Studio. And then here you have the option to add the knowledge. So here you have actually 3 options. You can go ahead and select, for example, a SharePoint. And here I could go ahead and add the SharePoint location I have here and say add. And yes, and click on add. So that's pretty much this knowledge part. And well, I can just now go ahead and say create.
Just
Yes. Yes.
Amelia,
You
sorry.
want to say
Just
something? Go ahead.
no, it's regarding the creation agent is only for when you select the language when you create the agent. It's very important things because you can change after you create. So keep in
That's
mind
a
when you
yes, Gabriel. Thank you. That's
no
a very important thing. Totally agree. That this is something you cannot change afterwards, exactly because that's going to be its primary language. What you can do afterwards, if you want your Copilot to speak several languages, then it's that you can go ahead and add a second language, for example. So, but you are totally right, Gabriel. Thank you for that. That's very important. So this is how you can go ahead. Sorry, maybe I was just too quick. You go to your Copilot agent and then you click on settings. Let me close it. Yes. So you are now in a Copilot agent. You have the option to test it. You see on the right side, you can go ahead and test it. How to start working in spring in my garden, for example. And this is how I can test my Copilot agent, my garden expert. And if I want to, for example, change something about the settings, for example, I like it to understand also German, then I go ahead and go to the settings. And here on the language, I have the option to add a secondary language. And in this case, in my case, I would add German, for example. So I'm able to ask also things in German, and my Copilot agent will answer as well. So there's much more about Copilot agents as knowledge. There are also actions. there are also triggers, there are also topics, the startup prompts we saw before. So there are really, it's much more than just knowledge. So if you have, for example, already flows in Power Automate that are helping you with, I don't know, reminders about taking care of a specific plant in your garden, then this would be the place under actions actually uh, to 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 tell your Copilot agent that you should be reminded about it. So then you have as well triggers, and you have topics and so on. So it's really a very, 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 very deep topic. And then, of course, you have here the option to publish your Copilot. And let's see how is the experience of publishing a Copilot Studio. And I will go ahead and click on publish. And this is what we meant with deploying. So you have actually several channels, as we said before. You have, depending on the path that you choose, you have the Copilot itself, and then you have here. So here I created already, I published already my garden expert, and in behind what has happened in the case of a Copilot agent created with a Copilot Studio is that there has been created actually an app in Intra ID, and it has been identified. So there is now an app in Intra ID which can be managed via Intra ID. So if I go back now to Copilot Studio, to the landing page, here we have, if we scroll down, if we scroll down, we don't need to scroll down because it's right away here. You see this, that's the garden expert, and the garden expert has been here already published. So that brings me actually to the topic managing. But in the meantime, I'd like to ask you, how are you doing? And if you have any questions.
So the builder would be a lightweight way to make an agent for the studio, and what you presented now is more a complex solution, or to provide more.
Yes, like
The builder would be a lightweight, quick,
a
low code,
no-code
no
way
code,
to create it.
and the Copilot Studio in this way would be more advanced.
The Copilot Studio offers a low-code option exactly to create a Copilot agents, a no-code to low-code, because you saw there was no
Yeah.
code at all.
Mhm.
Yes, and the Copilot Studio Builder, it's totally. So you have
Yes.
more options to customize using the Copilot Studio.
Yeah.
In comparison
Yeah.
to
And
the Copilot Studio Builder.
one other
Yes, go
thing
ahead.
with that Copilot builder there, Amy, it's used more for autonomous agents rather than a task one, like the first
Mm-hmm.
one, the garden expert, you just ask it questions and you get back answers, whereas
Yeah.
the other one has actions and triggers, you know. Yeah.
Exactly.
with low
So
code. Right.
exactly. So with Copilot Studio is where you can actually, I mean, you can start actually creating automated actions. Then you have the events with the triggers. So you have really much more possibilities to create an agent that is maybe talking to other agents and so on. With Copilot Studio Builder, the options are limited, and this is pretty much yes, like an interface for end users to very quickly. It takes like 2 minutes to be able to create a Copilot agent very quickly. Mm, yes.
And also the
Well,
other is more focused
yes.
in
Go ahead.
M365. No,
It's
no,
more
sorry.
what? Sorry.
That is, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry. The other agent, when you build with the agent builder, is more focused to work inside to M365 Copilot. And this
Exactly.
one is more focused to share and put on different side or something like that.
Exactly. That's a very
Mm,
important point where
exactly.
there should be accessible to.
Mm.
Exactly. Hmm. Okay,
And
awesome. I think in the meantime, we can go ahead and check for how to manage them, because here it's actually a lot of things to check. Well, to manage Copilot Studio, Copilot agents. Yes, it's really a very interesting theme that I've been following how it has developed in the last I don't know 3-4 months, and yes, it's very interesting. First of all, the licensing stuff. Uh, Microsoft 365 Copilot license users, they have just the option to access and create Copilot agents. Just as you saw it, I was working or demoing using a Microsoft 365 Copilot license user. And of course, you have as well users maybe within your organization that they are not licensed with Microsoft 365 Copilot. And for those users, Copilot agents the creation is not available, but they are able to access and to use Copilot agents, maybe I mean they are grounded in Microsoft 365 Copilot, but accessing maybe SharePoint sites within the organization and so on. So you can kind of use Copilot agents as a kind of a workaround for users to be able to non-licensed users to be able to still yes, use internal organizational knowledge base with Microsoft 365 Copilot. Yes, and of course, for those users that are using Copilot agents there and are not licensed, you have either the option to set up Copilot pay-as-you-go billing, or you can use the message capacity. Exactly. And for the message capacity is very interesting because if you go to billing and well, purchase services, and here under purchase services, you have the option to yes, to purchase Microsoft Copilot Studio and Studio. Okay, let me check. Yes, so here we have Microsoft Copilot Studio. And if we go to details here, here is where you have to be really careful, because you have several plans to buy this product. And you have, for example, user license trial, Copilot Studio, and then Copilot Studio trial. So you have several plans, and here the best thing is to check the documentation, what's actually behind every single of these plans. So I can only refer you to the documentation in this regard, and then here you have, of course, as well an information what is actually included. For example, you see message capacity is included in Microsoft Copilot Studio, in Microsoft Copilot Studio Trial. Uh, but as I said, the best would be, of course, always to check the documentation about it before purchasing anything in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. And then after licensing and after making sure, okay, your users are able to access Microsoft, to use Microsoft Copilot agents or to create, depending on whatever you want to do. Thank you, Gabriel, for that. Awesome. You will, of course, need to manage the Copilot agents. And to manage them, you have actually a couple of options. Maybe let me show you first where you can set up no, uh, pay as you go, because I actually realize it. So here under Copilot settings, you have now the option to set up, to turn on pay as you go for your non Microsoft 365 Copilot users if they are using Copilot agents. So here you can add an Azure subscription. Um, you have to make sure that you are a contributor in this Azure subscription as well. Otherwise, you will not be able to add it here. And then just fill in the form, click on save, and then you'll have turned on pay-as-you-go billing for Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. Yes, and now I like to show you the part with the integrated apps, because this is also very interesting. If you go to integrated apps under share agents, you will find the garden expert. And this is not the one that we created using Copilot Studio. This is the one that we created using the Copilot Studio Builder, the very first demo I did. And yes, so this is the very first Copilot agent, the Garden Expert, and all the others that I've created using and shared as well using the Copilot Studio Builder. So here you can take a look what are the Copilot agents that your Microsoft 365 Copilot license users are creating and are sharing to the organization. Okay, and then there is also a very interesting place under available apps. So here on the available apps, there is a very, very hidden icon, which is the settings here. So here, this very hidden icon settings give you a very interesting option to manage Copilot agents, to allow them or to block them. So here you have the option to allow the access to Copilot agents to uh, a specific group of users, for example, to block it at all within your organization, or to say it's available and anybody can access Copilot agents within my organization. So that's the very interesting part about it. And then, well, this part about the share agents I already told you, and this part about the billing I already told you. And then still I want to show you the under organization settings, you have here as well the option to set up pay-as-you-go services. And here is where you can set up pay-as-you-go for your agents in SharePoint. So um, again, here you have the option to fill in the form, agent subscription. An agent subscription, of course, set up for pay-as-you-go is, of course, required. And yes, that's pretty much what I have to share about the management of Copilot agents in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. But what happened actually with the Copilot Studio agents that we created with the Copilot second demo I did, the second garden expert. For the second garden expert and for any other Copilot agent I created and published via the Copilot Studio. Uh, there is an app registration in Microsoft Intra Admin Center. And yes, and I think I don't see it, but if I refresh, I may see it. Let's see. Let me go to all applications. Let's see. What is it called? Garden. Garden. Yeah, here we go. Here is the garden expert. So every time you create an agent using Copilot Studio, a new app registration will be created. And yes, so that's, I think, important to know for administrators that this is actually a good way also to track where are the Copilot Studio agents created so far
Can
by
you
your
mention
users.
the Copilot Studio agent in the chat, or where can you mention it or access it?
Which one? The Copilot Studio Builder one, you mean?
No, not the builder. The last one you did. How can you share it, or how can people activate
Yes.
it? Can they
Mm-hmm.
mention it, or
That's a
is it
good
an
question,
app?
Amy.
Yeah, is it an
That's a
app
very
that you?
Yes, because you see it, I mean, I publish it already. That's a very good question. And it's not available here. So you see it is not available. It's not available in my list. I could try to go ahead and add it, maybe. Let's see if it works. Let's so if I go to get agents, for example. The bad thing is both agents have the same name.
Yes, that's a problem. Eh?
So
That's
it's
the
going to be
problem.
difficult.
I think
It's
the
going
same.
to be difficult to distinguish, but anyhow, let's try it. So let's see under agents if I see any garden agent, any more garden agents. Of course, I have here all the apps available.
Did you give access to this agent to everyone in the
No, no,
organization?
no. You're
Only
right
to you?
because I publish it, but I haven't shared it. So but let's see, because yes, no. So it's not available
No, it's
here.
not possible.
So basically, yes. So basically, I mean, it is already published. So basically, under these three dots, so I would need to access it again, and then click on share. And then here under share, I see I have uh, a lot of options, including everyone in Let's Flow. So here I could actually say, okay, everyone in my organization, and then the user permissions for this agent. Okay, no permissions. No, they should be able to actually to use it. Otherwise, and then I could go ahead and say, oh, I could send an email, for example, to new users, and I could go ahead and say share. Okay, let's see. Start the deployment process. A pipeline might be a better option for deploying your agent. Aha. Okay, so I could actually go ahead here and try to start a deployment process. So I'm here really using a no-code tool to create an application, and I just started the deployment process and see how it goes. So
I have lots of
far,
questions
this
today.
one has been published. This one
Yeah.
has been published, but it hasn't been really shared within the different channels.
Would it make sense for Copilot Studio not to do it on your personal account, but more on a service account? Um, because if you leave the company, the agent is,
Yes,
so maybe it would make
yes,
sense to either have a dedicated general account that,
yes.
or
I
so
think
you
in
don't need
this,
to transfer
mhm,
ownership or
yes,
something.
totally. I think in this case, every advice from the Power Platform Center of Excellence could it would be of course applicable also for
Yeah,
a copilot for copilot agents, and for the adoption. I'd say, like, to have really like a citizen developer strategy in behind, or to reuse the one that you've used for your for Power
yeah,
Platform. I think it
yeah,
would make a lot of sense.
yeah, definitely.
Definitely. So it's nothing that uh that's yeah, it's really, it's really
I mean, we
happening a
don't
lot
want shadow
behind.
IT, right?
No,
Shadow
no,
IT.
we don't want to.
Each one does
Yes.
its own, and then you don't know what's happening. Yeah,
Yes. Well, it takes a lot of time
Yeah.
to deploy it, as we saw it. Do you have any questions in the meantime regarding the management of or anything to add? I'm also very happy if I can learn something from you.
No, maybe well, your the deployment is it's finished. We all talking about to the limitation in the maybe it's a good
That would be
point with
cool.
maybe Amelia.
Okay, very cool.
So
Thank you.
let me for you let me share with you, and also you can share or talking about this one when you create the agent.
Ah,
Yeah, this is a very cute.
are you sharing now?
No.
No, no,
Please go
no.
ahead.
Ah, you mean the link? The
Yeah,
link. Ah, yes. Which one? The one you just shared? Okay. Let
the
me
second
let me
one.
go there. Yes, let me go there. Okay, so here we go. Let me move it to everybody. Okay. Yes. So you mentioned before that here you have the limitations.
Exactly, and also when you working to with agent builder, the basically here or the key point here is the best choice, the best way to choose when you are working. For example, you are select the SharePoint, so a data source, right? So basically, if
Mhm.
you go to below, you can see fill the SharePoint content, the file size limit, Maybe this is the for exactly
Here.
SharePoint content. You
Mhm.
can see the field, the site to this part. Only for the audience, this link. And for more content, right?
This is a very good. This is a very good source of knowledge and clarity, I think.
Exactly, because
Also,
I think
this.
it's Ami and others asking about.
Yes,
So
well, that that can be a blocking point. The size of yeah, but
yeah, this is
Mhm.
this limitation is continue changing. So
it
basically,
it will increase the.
yeah, Microsoft. I remember, but I have a call another day and also say it's working around this part because it's obviously it's limited.
Mm.
Next week.
Maybe, yeah, this is all possible.
Yeah, the 26th.
Okay, let's see.
I can't
Wow.
tell you any more than that.
Wow.
Okay. Fortunately, yeah, the deployment process started, but I need actually to try it again to
But
yes to
maybe it was creating pipelines, maybe Power Automate.
yes, maybe with the yes, you're right. You mean
You
you
have a
mean that
list?
the process could be quicker if I create first a pipeline or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, that could be possible, but that's something we will talk about it another
Another
day, I'd say.
another day. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, totally. And I say thank you very much to Gabriel, to Frank for the motivation, and for setting up StreamYard as well to make this
Yeah.
possible. Thank you. Thank you, Amy.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Gabriel. And
Thank you
thank
to
you,
you.
everyone, on
Yes.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
or on
We
YouTube,
had
It's
whatever you are
amazing.
Pleasure.
joining
Pleasure
for.
to
had a
support you.
we had a good few people there now on LinkedIn, Amelia. So we just kind of keep the chat going in the background and try and get a few more hits up on it before you post it. Yeah.
That's very cool. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Awesome.
Okay,
Yes.
guys. So we'll end the live show and we'll see you on Saturday on the Azure and AI show.
Yes. That'd
Thanks,
be
Amelia,
cool.
for a
Thank
great
you very
show.
much. So wish you a nice evening, everybody.
Yay.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Ciao.